Hello and welcome to the Aaron Russos podcast. Today's little episode is just a little bit of sharing about my experience with organic. First little disclaimer, if there's anything on my website or anything in my podcast that I'm telling you about, that I'm sharing, passing on wisdom, knowledge, information, it's something that I would only have experienced, felt, touched, and seen with my own very eyes. Otherwise, I wouldn't be sharing it with you. I'm not about opinions or sitting on the fence or grey areas or anything like that. I'm real proof. Even with all my spirituality stuff, it's practical spirituality. It's grounded. It's things that you can rely on to work every time. And I do, it's well documented everywhere that I do a lot of biohacking and brain hacking and, just getting into the biology and doing things to it to see what chemical reactions, what things happen. And I guess the last 3 months have been a bit of an eye-opener because I've gone to a vegan diet, but unlike my cell regenerative organic plant-based diet that I use for healing, I just went with the average supermarket fruit and veg, not organic, just to see the difference that it has on my body, how everything works, the taste, basically everything. Now, an organic vegan cell regeneration, specially designed diet that I had first back in 2018, with some very other simple, natural, aligning things, and I'm leading an organic lifestyle where possible, deodorant, toothpaste, washing detergents, all that sort of stuff. I might get caught out every now and then in a laundry travelling around Australia in the middle of nowhere, and I stink, so I have to use detergents. That's, but it's not what I do all of the time. It's just some of the time. And so, I was able to cure an incurable disease that 300 million people have in the world within 14 days on this diet. And the diet is more than 70% of the protocol. So I thought, hey, I'd been doing some other pretty unhealthy stuff while I was writing this book and living with some homeless people, and so I just ate shit, took drugs, did all sorts of stuff, and I thought, wouldn't it be good to see what sort of an impact just a normal vegan diet without the organic part plays on my system? And besides washing detergent, everything else was organic as well. So there was just no organic food. It was all bought at mass-produced supermarkets and places where you buy your fruit and veg. I also have the experience of being involved with a family that have had a 50-year farm, and also a lot of organic produce there. There was no GMO added. There was no, there was some pesticide, but it wasn't. But there was also designated organic table fruit and vegetables that we ate ourselves. So in the last 3 months, what did I find by not eating organic? And I'll tell you something, there's lots of things that I found, but first of all, it did not affect me anywhere near the levels that organic fruit and veg did. There is definitely something that does not agree with the human interface with something, the inner workings of what food does after it's digested, while it's digested, because I just did not feel any shift, I guess, within myself. Now, while some of the things worked better, going to the toilet to do number twos more than twice a day, which keeps you quite regular and keeps you moving. There was no real huge noticeable impact. What I also noticed and was that the fruit and vegetables that you eat are completely deprived of nutrients, ripeness, goodness from the sun. I've just had enough of trying to peel oranges, navel oranges, which, I came from the orange capital of Australia in Mildura. Now, these, and I tried different things. I put them into ice water. I tried to do different other things to make it easier to peel them, but it was a nightmare. Now, that means that these are not picked at their optimum, which means that you miss out on nutrients on the other end of the spectrum. Now, these are mass produced. This is what everyone's buying in Australia because there's two major supermarkets here and Aldi, and the taste was just not there. I just wasn't enjoying the taste. Now, when you get a rock melon, they all had green. They were cut because I would buy halves because I'm by myself. They were all green around the outside, so I'd have to cut extra skin off. They weren't ripe. I was eating everything underripe. There was a lot of instances where I had to throw out pears just recently. They just didn't ripen. So, all right, let's talk about the ripening bit, the thing. There are some things, I don't know if people know this, but apples only harvest at one time a year. They're put into cold storage, sometimes gas flushed, and then they're brought out all throughout the year and delivered to you. So apples are not the freshest fruit and vegetable fruit that you can purchase. Apples were very hit and miss taste wise, from extreme tartness. They weren't balanced with sugars. Sugars come from the sun. When we used to grow sultanas, there's a crown rating, which is more of a sugar crystallization rating of 1 crown to 5 crown. And, Sunbeam, we used to sell our sultanas to, wouldn't accept it until it was done properly. Such quality measures obviously are not done through the major supermarkets in Australia. I think the quality testing they do is all about look, presentation. They're looking at different factors that really don't align with the natural human interface. So all the fruit, it was impossible to get a good flow on with the ripeness of, seasonal stuff, stone fruits like now. I'd buy packages and half would be ripe, half would be not. And I thought, this is great. I'll just, by the time I finish the first round, we'll be right to go. The second round is still not ripe weeks later. It is it is hard to manage. The ripeness of things really do make a big difference on on a human being. And now I'm talking about all sorts. I don't know what watermelons are these days, seedless, whether they're genetically modified or what's going on. But they just don't, we used to grow our own watermelons, and even at the start of this year, I was in Mildura with my grandmother, and we always had 3 or 4 watermelons in the shed. And the gabuzi was that's what the Greeks call the watermelon, completely different taste and texture and everything to what you're getting at the supermarket. Now, when you're talking about ripeness as well, you're talking about your senses. Now, most people outside of food and eating food in life are desensitized to violence, are distracted, there is lots of things going on. So you wouldn't know difference. Like already your health is in a dysfunctional state and you call it normal. You think you're actually healthy, but you're nowhere near healthy. You're nowhere near it. And unless you've done and experienced all these things like I have, you would have no fucking idea either. So I'm telling you something that will immensely add to your life and take you to another level, energy-wise, feeling-wise, mood-wise. There's a lot of benefits to eating really good, dense, nutrient food. But most of you will actually mock and make fun of me because you, like people do that don't understand things, and they're humanly conditioned to a society that is really just about marketing. I've said many times that cancer, the greatest problem of all time, is a marketing and lifestyle problem. And also you don't understand the 3 planes of a human existence. So you have no idea that your thoughts and energetically what you do every day is intertwined and is causing cancer. And yet you'll still laugh at me. So now a lot of the vegetables as such, look, I found the vegetables to be a little bit better than the fruit. The fruit, to me, was really, really below par. If there was an acceptable level of fruit, because, we're talking about the taste as well. I've had mandarins that have just got no taste whatsoever. Yeah, we used to grow clementines, one of the sweetest and one of the most, impactful sort of flavours in the mandarin family. But the ones that I've been eating, well, they were easy to peel. For the starters, I was like, wow, this is good. There was no pips in them. So they've been genetically modified. And the taste was so bland, it was below 50% of what I was used to. Bananas are looking a little bit too perfect. And, over that time I started, I lost a few bananas to over-ripening. I like to eat my bananas with brown spots on it. I've since changed that to before because I was losing too many, letting them go ripe. And then, look, there's a whole lot of seasonal stuff that happens within the country. Lemons and limes are $1.50 each or something fucking ridiculous at the moment, which is stupid because they're a winter fruit and anyone could put a tree in a pot in the backyard and, save themselves a lot of money. So the fruit just did not have the taste, the intensity in taste, the ripeness would contribute to that as well. It's not there because it's mass produced. There's a lot of pressure on farmers to be able to get that amount of food to you in different places. Potatoes, sweet potatoes I sort of found to be one of the best vegetables. Flavour-wise, texture, last a long time. A lot of the washed white normal potatoes went a little bit soft and rubbery within days. And, this can also be affected by, putting them in cold storage, out. There's different reasons for that, but the sheer amount of volume that they go through, that shouldn't happen. We should be presented with lots of fruit stuff. We're talking about fresh produce that when I work in a restaurant, I say to my apprentices, every box of fruit and veg, every bag, everything that gets dropped off is a ticking time bomb. And it's our responsibility to be able to get that ticking time bomb at its most optimum in taste, flavour, nutrients, everything, because everything oxidizes and everything starts breaking down from the moment it is delivered to our door. And it's our responsibility to get it to the customer in the most optimum state that we can. It's not about letting everything run down, deteriorate, oxidize, and then turning it into soup and then giving someone soup that's 50% less in nutrient dense value. So I guess from a standpoint, I'm not into the fruit at all. I ended up, mangoes, these farmed mangoes are just, I don't know if they're genetically modified, but they just taste like shit. I've spent time in Darwin, the Kimberley, and also far north Queensland, and the mangoes, wild mangoes, are unbelievable. I found that some of the different varieties from Southeast Asia, I can't remember the name of them, they really pack the flavour. Because I don't mind a green mango every now and then as well. But overall, the fruit side of things was not enjoyable. I didn't enjoy managing it. I didn't enjoy the taste. I didn't enjoy the inconsistency. And I am ending this 3-month trial. I've just been researching all the different organic fruit and veg places around Melbourne today. And I must say, coming from different states and being well-travelled in Australia, that I'm so confirmed with my I've started a business called Aura Organics, not Aurora. And just working on that, trying to get more affordable organics, because in the future, the script's going to be flipped, right? Everyone's going to want organic and no one's going to want pesticide fruit and veg. So the stuff that you're eating now, when everyone realises what it's doing, no one will want to touch it, all right? So the flip is going to be flipped. So there's a big, it's going to be within 10 years as well. So we need to get to a point where this is more affordable. When I first did my program back in 2018, I bought my fruit and vegetables from a place in Adelaide called Affordable Organics. And that is still 40% cheaper, 50% cheaper than everything that I've seen online this morning from Melbourne. Okay? Everyone's just thought organics, right, is a way to charge more. You know how we go, there's a flood, fruit and veg prices go up. COVID, prices. We always price gouge further than we physically have to, because we're in business and we're trying to make money and we're trying to grow and we're trying to get more sales and more business. So the whole organic industry at the moment is just a comical farce. It's just people taking the piss from the farmer to the people that are selling it, okay? The supermarket, might be selling apricots at a listed price at the moment of $11 average a kilo, okay? I was going to the local organic place in St Kilda, and they're beautiful apricot. They taste like nothing I've ever tasted before. They're $21.99, and I thought, oh my God, it's nearly double what the supermarket. There's no, people just won't make just don't know how to make the choice to get the right thing for their body. And then I go online and I check another two places, and it's even more than that, $25 a kilo, right? People, have made excuses because we're all brainwashed and indoctrinated into this system and everything for years. It's all been marketing. And we've gone, oh, yeah, organic farming, it costs a lot more. Guess what? It costs less, right? You just need to know what you're doing. It costs less. Organic farming is just natural farming without any additive, chemicals, pesticides. There's not, it's all the way that it is done that then delivers a naturally product, non-genetically modified, no pesticides, no chemicals to stop this and to stop that and all the rest of it, right? What normal farming is, where they put the pesticides, they put the chemicals, they put this to stop mold, they have to genetically modify shit to be, resistant of this and resistant of that. That's called lazy farming, okay? It's and lazy farming is not smart farming. You're not using your noggin to do farming. You're actually just mass producing shit. It's like slopping out shit to deliver, a bottom line to a business. You're not providing something that is the life force for a human being, which is something they have to do every day to survive. It's not the building blocks of your human interface. And so basically, that's what, or organics, that's why I'm starting it, is because basically you're out there just as consumers being driven by whatever you've been marketed to. And marketing has always said, oh, you have to pay more for organic because it costs so much to do this and do that and the other. Well, I'm going to prove you all wrong. It's about doing things smarter, seasonally, aligned with Mother Nature. Not fighting against her, not trying to get crops out, in a place or a time where it's not meant to. There is reasons why we have different food bowls in different places, and tropics grows these varieties, and in the cold grows the majority of the other things. There's a reason behind all of it. If you align, like everything I do is naturally aligning, you just need to align with the natural human, a natural system that we're all part of. In ancient times, we did not have the internet to rely on, so we had to work very, very closely with Mother Nature. Sorry, I call her Tara. And so I'm backing this up with a cafe as well, which will be serving Foodison, which is food as medicine, which will be a world first that will not do what I've just done over the last 3 months, eat vegan fruit and vegetables and have no impact whatsoever, this will change the chemical composition and make your body do things well-being and health-wise that it's never done before, and it'll heal itself. Self-diagnosis will be revealed. All these things which are innately within us and also just sitting there dormant that haven't been activated. And so that's why I'm also looking at organic places. So I'm trying to work out where I'm going to eat now while I'm in Melbourne. And I'm also looking for business because I might get a kitchen lab serving foodison up early as a bit of a first trial, just to get into the motions. Also have a bit of fun while I'm getting the farms developed and all sorts of things. So I'm out there looking at the moment for myself to eat, but also to buy for a business. And it's just, I haven't had a look at the wholesale yet, but, that'll be the next step. So that's where we're at. The fruit and veg that you're all eating and consuming is just really disappointing from a quality, ripeness, and also the taste. They're all sort of, what did you say? They all complement each other, or... because obviously if it's not ripe, it's not going to taste, you're not going to get any satisfaction, your mood's going to change. It all affects everything. Vegetables I've found to be a little bit better, but still not of high quality. I'd say fruit and veg is 50%. I would say that fruit would be, 50%, like half shit. And I would say that vegetables are more like 70 to 80%, and you can taste the nutrients a little bit more. The flavours and stuff are still there. They haven't been completely fucked with, but we're talking about a lot of things that have been grown the same way for a long time. If you go back to Peru and look at what fruit and veg looks like over there in its unadulterated form, I don't even know if that's a word. Well, I know it's a word, but if it can be applied to this situation, then you would find that the food looks nothing like what you're eating now. And so we need to work out, and I guess at the end of the day, the basis of all of this stems a systemic fact that no one can deny, that can be tested right today by any human being on the planet, and that is that an organic vegan diet of fruit and vegetables has been shown to be the only diet, combined with some other things, that can naturally heal incurable diseases in the human body. And all of this can be tested at aaronroussos.org today. The protocols are there, the recipes are there, the shopping lists are there, there's videos of me cooking it there. There is a specifically cell regenerative organic diet that is not only healing a few, it's most of the diseases that you all have, that affects over 1 billion people, but you're all still lining up at the supermarket and you're all still complaining that you're sick. And I'm giving you the answer, and most of you, because of that brainwashing, is just to going for convenience and bypassing the very thing that could save your life. This diet can be tested by anyone, and it is being tested all around the world. Some of the people that are quite high up in medical and science world know it. But they also know once someone of that capacity actually, releases it, puts their name behind it, everything in your known world changes from that moment onwards. Everything in your life, in everybody's life, all over the planet, changes from that moment onwards, and we're very, very close. And we're very, very close. So that's all I wanted to get back to you on. The saying, look, the organic stuff is, you really have to do a bit of shopping. I might give you an update on this, seeing I've just started the project this morning, but from what I've seen so far, we're a bit overpriced. I'll go and do some testing of organic fruit and vegetables over the next few months and get back to you on the taste and what it actually does to my system, how I actually feel, how I work and everything like that. So that's all I want to get on and tell you about today. Have a beautiful day, morning, noon and night, wherever you are. This is the Aaron Roussos Podcast.